Good evening and welcome to tonight's edition of On the Infield, where we're bringing to you action from Adelaide Speedway City for the first time in the show's history. Tonight we have round one of the Couriers Super Sedan Track Championship, with around about a dozen of South Australia's best Super Sedan drivers ready to do battle in the first of 5 rounds. So please sit back and enjoy On the Infield here on C31, coming to you from Speedway City here in Adelaide. I'm standing here with rookie driver Daniel Miller. Daniel, you've had your first run in the Super Sedans, but you're having your first run here at Speedway City. What are your expectations?
Well, if things go as good as last week, the NZ Cooler Cab Pontiac ran really well. It's a good car to step into. Very keen to run at Speedway City. It's good that Couriers are putting on a series for us this year, and should be exciting, really.
Now, you've only ever driven go-karts in the past. To get into this V8 Super Sedan, could you take anything from go-kart racing into it?
Oh yeah, you learn a lot in karts. The experience is fantastic. Many thanks to my father being able to sort this out for us. Good career opportunity, really. What I can make of it, who knows? But yeah, you carry a bit over, but a lot of it's bigger. You got to be a bit more aware of people around you, so there's a bit more to fix at the end of the week.
And despite the fact that the Miller team has been in Super Sedan racing for quite a few years now, this is a brand new car for the team and of course for yourself. Tell us a bit about it.
Yeah, we bought it from Ron Pine earlier this year, where he went and picked it up, and we've done a hell of a lot of work to it. Peter Lowe from Lowe Race Car Engineering, he's helped doing the chassis setup. We've done loads of work just to make it easier to work on for us, and yeah, it's good. It's a nice car to get into. We've done a lot of changes. We've got a lot of changes to do to it, just to make it our car, really. It's a good car to begin with. We just want to make it a bit better.
It's been a long time since Super Sedans have actually had a series like this in South Australia. When you first heard of it, what did you think about that? And as you said, JD getting right behind it.
Yeah, it's good. It's good for the sport. It's good for sedans. I've always remembered sedans as being quite a big class here in Adelaide. Always watched them as a kid. Just glad to be part of it, really.
Now, round Heat 1 of round 1 of the Couriers Super Sedan Track Championship out on the Speedway. We're set to go 8 laps here. Colin Neville leads them in on his outsiders. Kim Control in car number 63. We're green here in heat number 1 of the Speedway City Track Championship. And it's Kim Control who leads down the back straight away. Colin Neville in the second spot. In car number 71. In the third spot is car number 2 of Daniel Miller. Then we go back to the 69 of Andrew Leach having his first run of the season here at Speedway City. Of course, this being Speedway City's opening event of the season, with the Super Sedans have been running around the state earlier this year already. But our leader is Kim Cottrell in car number 63. The Dodge Intrepid very sideways on the exit of turn number 4 there. The 71 of Colin Neville unable to capitalise. So Neville, the driver out of Mannum region up in the River Murray, he's travelled quite a long way to run here tonight. And it's good to see him there running in the second spot quite competitively. He's only run at Speedway City on one other occasion, and the guy out in front, Kim Cottrell, has probably lapped around this track 1,000 times or more. Now leader is Cottrell. Have a look at the 71 now. Colin Neville trying to make the move up the inside, but the 63 of Kim Cottrell has got the move covered. Daniel Miller sitting back there in third in car number 2, and these three drivers really have gapped the rest of the field. The 69 of Andrew Leach is back there in the fourth spot. Down the back chute one more time around this 430 metre venue in Virginia. Through 3 and 4. Cottrell very untidy. A bit of contact there in turn number 4. Great racing from the Super Sedans, but Cottrell's still got the move covered. And Cottrell continues to lead in car number 63. Second spot is still Colin Neville in car 71. Then it's the 2 of Daniel Miller and the 69 of Andrew Leach still further back in the pack. Then we go back to Dave Harper, also Shane Dryden in car number 9. And the 3 of Gil Wordley also involved in this particular heat. Down the back chute once again, the number 63. Have a look at the flames out of the side of that machine of Cottrell. Cottrell's car has got the bottom side of the racetrack covered very nicely. In fact, he's getting away now from Colin Neville in the 71. Daniel Miller also dropping off slightly in car number 2. There really is now a race up in front between these two drivers. Oh, there's a bit of contact further back in the pack. As you can see, the front end of the number 3 of Gil Wordley has taken a fairly heavy impact. And now the race has been declared, with car number 63, Kim Cottrell, taking the win. The 71 of Colin Neville in for second, and third, the number 2 of Daniel Miller in for third. We have a look at the race cam now from inside Shane Dryden's BA Falcon. You enjoyed the 8-lap journey around the 430 metre venue here in Speedway City aboard the number 9 Shane Dryden owned BA Falcon. And as you can see, these V8 Super Sedans really do shake, rattle and roll quite a bit inside the cockpit, and that probably is the best perspective you're ever going to have of what it's like to drive one of these awesome V8 Super Sedans, unless of course you spend a lot of time driving stock car Speedway on your computer at home. But that really is a great perspective here and what it's like to drive an awesome V8 Super Sedan around Speedway City. To the pit area, we've come across one of South Australia's veteran Super Sedan drivers, and I hope you don't mind me calling you that, Kim, but you definitely are in that category.
Oh, I think we are. We've been racing for a fair while, and that's why we like the sport. We like to keep racing as much as we can. We've got my two sons racing, so I'll be around for a long time, I think.
Now, the Super Sedans in South Australia have come out pretty strong this year with good car counts and a good track championship.
Yes, we've got good numbers this year, and it's to do with JD with the sponsorship, and without those sort of guys putting the money up, we've probably got nowhere to run. So we'd like to thank JD with his support, and also Wendy for hosting the track.
Now, your car is one of the most beautiful Super Sedans out in the racetrack. Tell us a bit about it.
Yes, it's come along quite nicely. We built it last year. It's a Dominator chassis from Queensland, and my mechanics and myself put it together. And we had a few dramas last year with motor problems, but we've sort of touched wood. We've fixed that problem. Now we have to sort the handling out, and we'll get there.
Now you're constantly at the front of the field. What other guys in this field do you like racing against?
Well, I like racing against Bill because he's a hard charger. He makes it fair for everyone. He's one that you have to chase, and also he's got a wealth of experience just like myself. And you're still learning every time you go out onto the track. And he's got tricks up his sleeves, and so have I. But yeah, there's Chris Blunden's another driver that's been around for quite a while, and he's good to race against, and there's some promising other drivers coming up through the field.
And Speedway City is a racetrack. It really does suit these cars, doesn't it?
You really do need a big track, big hooky track, and Supers thrive on that because they are starting to get big, wide, and you need big tracks to put them around. No, little tracks are good for, you know, getting yourself to set up for smaller tracks, because there are a lot of small tracks around, so you have to race on both, but the Supers are good on big tracks.
Well, I hope that you have a good run through the entire series, and hope to see this number 63 car towards the front somewhere towards the end of the year.
All right, thank you very much.
Heat number 2 of round 1 of the Super Sedan Track Championship, now out of the Speedway. Trevor Ware out of 1 on his outside, the 38 of Tony Howard. Then our first heat race winner, the 63 of Kim Cottrell, the 77 of Bill Miller on his outside, and rounding up the field, the 71 of Colin Neville out of turn number 4, 8 laps up on the board. Ware Green into turn number 1 and 2 for the first time. The number 5 of Trevor Ware got the best of the jump. Tony Howard just dropping back a little bit. Here comes the 63 of Kim Cottrell to the Dodge Intrepid, making the move into the second spot. Here comes Colin Neville also in car number 71, having a pretty good night out at the Speedway. Here's Colin Neville in the 71 machine. The 77 of Bill Miller right at the back of the pack, the bright pink machine. A bit of contact further back there between that 38 of Howard and the 77 of Bill Miller. So Bill Miller not having a great run here in the opening heat of the night. Have a look at Colin Neville trying to high, wide and handsome line on the number 63 of Kim Cottrell. In fact, that high loop groove has cost Colin Neville quite a bit of ground on the first two, but our leader is still Trevor Ware in car number 5. Kim Cottrell in the second spot in car number 63. There's a nice close shot of our two combatants at the front of the field, Trevor Ware and also Kim Cottrell. Then the 71 of Colin Neville. Now we see Bill Miller just sneaking past the 38 of Tony Howlett at the tail. But back at the front, our leader is still Trevor Ware in car number 5. Is coming under some intense pressure now from Kim Cottrell in car number 63 as they go through turn number 1 and 2. Great racing here at Speedway City as they head down the back straight away. Then we got back there in the third spot is still the 71 of Colin Neville, then the 77 of Bill Miller, who's having a bit of a lonely race back there in the 4th spot, and the 38 of Tony Howard, the last of the cars on the racetrack. But have a look at the battle up in front. It's an absolute cracker between Trevor Ware, Kim Cottrell, and now the 71 also of Colin Neville has got right onto the tail on the bootleg of that number 63 machine of Kim Cottrell. And now closing in very quickly indeed is Bill Miller in the 77 machine. The bright pink car has come from nowhere. In fact, Miller now up in the 3rd spot with a very impressive move on the back straightaway to dispose of car 71 of Colin Neville. So great racing here in Speedway City. As we said here, heat number 2 of the JD Couriers Super Sedan Track Championship. Trevor Ware who leads. Then is Kim Cottrell. Then the 77 of Bill Miller. Then the 71 of Colin Neville. As they come out of turn number 4, Trevor Ware will just get the job done ahead of Kim Cottrell and Bill Miller in car number 77. Great racing there. Of course, not to be forgotten, Colin Neville will come in for 4th, and the 38 of Tony Howlett inside the top 5. And the last 0.87, so 2 minutes 14.87 the race time. Heat number 3 now out on the Speedway. Bill Miller in car number 77 leads them away along with the 69 of Andrew Leach. In fact, have a look at the jump that Bill Miller has already got over the rest of the field. as he makes his way through the 3-4 turn. Daniel Miller, no relation back there in the second spot in car number 2. Then we go back to the 69 of Andrew Leach, the 38 of Tony Howlett, and the 9 of Shane Dryden in that beautiful BA Falcon. But have a look at the way Bill Miller bouncing his way through turn number 3 and 4. That car looking spectacular as it made its way through those series of turns. If you look further back in the pack, there's Tony Howlett in car 38, Shane Dryden, and also the 78 of Dave Harper, who's got a little bit of body work there, flapping on the right rear. Hopefully that doesn't cause any sort of dramas throughout this event. But have a look, great battle there, developing there between Tony Howlett and the 9 of Shane Dryden, and of course the 78 at the tail of Dave Harper. Our leader is still Bill Miller in car number 77. He's about a half lap in front of this battle as we continue to focus on this trio at the tail of the field. In fact, have a look at Tony Howlett's car, not quite set up the way he wants. It wasn't going through that particular 3-4 turn very nicely at all. But he continues to hold off both Shane Dryden and Dave Harper at the tail. In fact, we've got the yellow lights on. So the yellow lights are on for a stoppage. Also, we've got some body work down there in turn number 1. There it is. It looks like it is off the back of Dave Harper's number 78 Dodge Intrepid. So on the restart, the order will be Bill Miller, Daniel Miller, Andrew Leach, Tony Howlett, Shane Dryden and Dave Harper. Of course, Harper would have been sent to the rear of the field for causing the yellow. Green flag waving once again. Of course, all drivers must pass the orange cone on the front straightaway before they can effectively make a pass on any other competitor. But Bill Miller had no such trouble, didn't have any pressure from behind him as he got off to a tremendous jump over the rest of the field. Daniel Miller in the second spot, having his first run ever here at Speedway City. Of course, we met him earlier in the show. Approachable young man. Spent a lot of time crewing for the Williams Formula 1 team in Europe for both Ralf Schumacher and also Mark Webber. So we think that he'd be able to get a race car to go relatively quickly. And he's doing a fantastic job here. His first ever outing at Speedway City. As he runs in the second spot to Bill Miller at this stage of the event, as Miller continues to circulate this racetrack very nicely indeed. Down the back straight away, there's our leader, that bright pink Pontiac Grand Prix of Bill Miller. You see the flames coming out of the side of these race cars, very spectacular. Under the lights here at Speedway City, checkered flag now on display for Bill Miller. Daniel Miller in the second spot. Andrew Leach has held on for third ahead of Tony Howlett. And then Shane Dryden and Dave Harper rounding out the field for the final. So the field is now set for the feature event here over 15 laps. Kim Cottrell lead them in, Bill Miller on his outside. Then the 2 of Daniel Miller, the 71 of Colin Neville. Then the 69 of Andrew Leach, the 38 of Tony Howlett, Harper, Dryden, Worthley and Graham Stewart round out the 10-car field as we go green. 15 laps ahead of them here in the JD Couriers Super Sedan Track Championship round number 1. And getting off to a fantastic start was the 63 of Kim Cottrell. And he'll lead them through turn number 3 and 4 for the first time. Bill Miller in the second spot, Daniel Miller in third. Then we go back to Colin Neville in car number 71. Andrew Leach in the fifth spot. Then it's the number 3 of Gil Worthley in the Holden Commodore going forward. Haven't seen him out